Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my first impressions for The Good Place. So, this is a series that I had heard about, and my sister had actually said I should check out as well. Um, and I kind of had been putting it off for a while, and I think the series is actually over now. Um, but I decided, just why not? I'll give the first episode a chance, see what it's like. And I think the reason I put it off for so long is because a lot of these live action comedies or even dramas tend not to be very good. They tend to be very formulaic and samey with not enough to differentiate them and not enough to make them, well, interesting in any way. Um, they all come across as just, for the dramas, they end up being melodramatic and just stupid and ridiculous, and the comedies usually just aren't funny. And the ones that are, again, they're just the same recycled crap over and over. So I kept putting it off. Um, but I finally decided to check out the first episode on Netflix, and I'm worried about it. I think that's the best way to surmise my thoughts on it. Um, I'm worried because the first episode was good, but where the first episode ends has me concerned. And in order to explain that, I will have to go into spoilers. So I'll just say that from here on out, there will be spoilers for the first episode of The Good Place. Um, so just letting you all know that ahead in case you haven't seen it yet and don't wish to be spoiled. So spoilers will begin in three, two, one, now. So the first episode ends. Well, let's give some backstory. So the series centers around this woman who arrives in the afterlife. She's greeted by this man named Michael who, um, right off the bat, seems very fake. I don't know what they're going for with him, but everything about him seems fake to me. Like, he doesn't seem like he's acting and reacting to things naturally. Um, I don't know if it's just the actor. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but he just seems really off. And because of it, it makes me automatically think that he's not good. Um, but she arrives in the afterlife, and he kind of like brings her into everything and tells her about it, and explains to her that that all these religions, all these belief systems in the world only get very little of what the afterlife is actually like. Um, and that in oversimplified terms, there is a good place and a bad place, and that she made it to the good place. So he starts showing her around, introducing her to people, including this guy named Chide, I think it is. I'm really sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name or even just missaying his name completely, but he's supposed to be her like soulmates because the idea of soulmates are in here as like this permanent, eternal partner in in the afterlife. So that's interesting. Um, but as things go along, we find out quickly that she does not believe she belongs here in a good place because she acknowledges she was a really shitty person and that the entire life that Michael had shown her and been talking about her and all the interests that they talked about her having were not hers. The life was not hers, the interests were not hers, and it's making her question as to whether or not there's some kind of like clerical error or something. Um, so now that I've given the backstory, so at the end of the episode, um, everything goes wrong and it seems to be her fault. Like things start like getting really weird and out of place, which is the intent there, but still. Um, and so she decides that instead of coming clean and risking being sent to the bad place, she's going to have her soulmate help her learn how to actually become a good person, to kind of trick the system, basically. And here's why I'm so worried about that ending. I feel like it's going to go into the realm of just another live action comedy series. With the core concept being her trying to learn how to be a good person and everything, it's like I feel like a lot of the humor, a lot of the character moments, a lot of the just general feel of the series is going to be very much, well, samey, very much the same shit that we've seen in every other live action television comedy. And I'm really worried about that because the first episode was entertaining. It was good even. But I'm worried that it's going to fall into the trap that all these other shows do. And it very much seems like it's headed that way. Hell, I'm probably able to predict quite a lot of this series just from this first episode. Again, like I think Michael is extremely untrustworthy. He just seems really off and fake and forced in his performance. And I'm thinking that might be on purpose. So it's like, I just feel like, I feel like there's something wrong there. And on top of it, everything just seems so off about the good place as well. Like there's little details here and there that just make it seem really off. Like something is clearly wrong here. Um, there's certain things that just don't add up, certain aspects of this good place that just don't seem to work or make any sense. And so I'm kind of thinking, like, what if this isn't the good place and it's the bad place? And I'm probably right because it's like super obvious that there's something wrong. And then there's the fact that this lady is supposedly so fucking terrible that she can't even think of a single good thing she did in her life. And yet we're just supposed to believe there was some kind of clerical error or something that made her mistakenly go to the good place. It just seems unbelievable. And it makes me not believe the like histories and the lives that we've been told of these other characters too. Nothing seems to fit properly. And most of that I'm not saying is a bad thing. Like for most of the episode and everything, like it feels well handled in that it feels off. It's just because of where I feel it could be going because of that. The acting is pretty strong. I won't argue that. There's some really good jokes, really good character characters in terms of their concepts and interest factor. Um, but again, my biggest issue is that it just seems like I can tell where it's going. It just seems like it's super easy to understand the trajectory of, which you don't really want your series to be. Like I've argued many times that a series isn't necessarily bad if it's predictable, and I stand by that. And I stand by the idea that this series might end up being good, even though it's predictable, but it does seem very predictable. And I don't know if that's intentional or hell, they might be purposefully misleading us to believe this shit because it's so blatantly just in your face about it. So it's just not as well thought out as it needs to be, or they are just trying to trick us and they're going to pull the rug out from under us later on and reveal, like, oh no, this isn't the case, and you were just kind of led to believe that. I don't know. It's just I'm concerned over it. Is all I'm saying here. Um, but yeah, I'm interested, I guess, to continue it. I'm not like super excited to, but I'm interested in doing so. And I would definitely like to see where it goes, at least. Um, because it could end up becoming much better. But as of where it is with the first episode, it's just I just feel like it's either too predictable or it's purposefully making us believe it is. And I don't know which option is better or worse in this scenario. But tell me your thoughts on the first episode of The Good Place down in the comments below. And as always, no spoilers. Do not tell me anything about what's to come on any of my predictions or anything else. Just let me know your general thoughts on the first episode down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.